Hi Gemini, welcome to your January 2019 reading. I'm just going to shuffle the cards here. I'm using the original Rider-Waite. I might have explained that already in the intro here. And what I'm doing essentially is trying to get a sense of a major, okay, we've just got cards popping out here, 2 3s here. I'm going to use those as the clarifying cards, not the overall energy. And then we'll see what happens here. Some of you have had cards just like spilling forth for me, and it's been crazy. Okay, so Gemini, you're showing up here in your suit as the Page of Swords. So I am an Libra, so I'm definitely down with the Page of Swords here. This is the energy I'm getting is very defensive. Someone who has perhaps been through a lot, has her back up, and is now kind of like, you know, I'm gonna take no prisoners. You know, it's that sense of bracing for the unknown, waiting for the shoe to drop. Sorry, that's Will howling. Will, we're doing a reading. Yeah, maybe Will is telling you how you feel. Are you feeling that inside? This is someone, and I'll show you the other cards here that we have. We have 2 majors as well. I feel like, you know, maybe you've had to be really strong to get through a certain amount of chaos, turmoil, and change. And now it's just like, oh, like I'm just ready to lose it, is the feeling that I'm getting from this. And not just because the cat is howling in the background somewhere. I don't even know where he is. Just wanders the halls like the ghost of Christmas past, howling. So here's our 3s. We have the 3 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords, and these did fly out together here. So this could be a loss of a job, loss of a community, loss of a relationship, could be a loss of a child. So I do feel like there's also, this could be something that didn't happen in the recent past, but very long ago, and maybe what you're feeling now is triggering some of this stuff that needs to be healed through. My goodness. Will, okay, I think he needs to come up on the table and say hello to you guys. Is that what you want? You want to say hello? Okay, here's Will. He wants attention. Hi to Gemini. Sometimes he just needs to be near the cards and he feels better. I feel the same way. Excuse me. Will, get your tuchus out of the frame. So yeah, there is a sense of loss. And, you know, the 3 of Pentacles is really about building. It's about forging something and coming together in equal measure. So if that has been lost in some fashion, if you've lost a pillar of your family unit, if you've lost a job that made you feel secure and connected, you're gonna be feeling this sense of, you know, okay, I'm strong enough to pull forward. But this energy, the page is not soft about it. There's no vulnerability. That's what I'm trying to get at here, is the lack of vulnerability. And the major arcana cards we have here, the Moon, and then the Death card. So, you know, I think there is something really significant going on here, in a sense of loss and sorrow. And it could be, again, pulling from past grief. It could be pulling from, you know, things that are triggering you to remind you of when you felt lost, when you felt like there was no hope. And this is the thing with, I always say that, this is the thing. There's always so many things to say. This pathway that I'm very familiar with in terms of what that pain feels like, what that unknown feels like, this is often what leads to that new dawn. This is the stuff that clears away anything that you don't need, right? And let's look at that new dawn right here. That's the guarantee. Death card is about transmutation. It is change. It's transition. Nothing ever truly dies, right? It changes form. And yet we walk through, you know, these pillars of knowledge. It's like this is the initiation, the moon, the things that get illuminated. And I was thinking about this yesterday too with, as this is the Cancer card, I always thought it was so funny that the moon card tying with Cancer, why the hell isn't a lobster here and why is it not a crab, right? And I think that again speaks to vulnerability, because crabs, you know, that protective shell that they have, the pinchers, obviously the lobster has that too, but the lobster actually sheds its whole casing and goes through this period of vulnerability and retreats to a cave because it could be like killed during this time of its molting. There's a specific term for it. I'm pretty sure it's not molting, but you know, it does transform. And I was thinking how powerful that is, of how important it is in the dark, in, you know, those times of grief when we're really struggling and really changing who we are. We need that transformation time. We need our world to get a bit smaller. We need the time and space to allow the things to fall apart. And this is what's on your mind, right? The swords, thoughts, it's reflections. It's like that is, your mind is stuck in a place of sorrow. You're reflecting and potentially ruminating on the past. And there is something so important that the change and transition happens when you allow the lobster casing of your former identity and your former self to fall away. I do not want to leave you with this reading as is, because it's like, oh, let's have some hope here, right? There is hope, but you know, there's nothing pretty about what healing, okay, sorry, this just flew out. We're just going to keep with this because some of you obviously need to have this reflected. I'm feeling a lot of emotion in my heart as I say this too. So we're just going to stay here for a bit with each other. Okay. So feeling left out in the cold, feeling always on the outside looking in, like, you know, comparing your insides to other people's outsides. That's what this Five of Pentacles means to me a lot. And the 5 is that halfway point of moving through the difficult time of what healing actually looks like is very difficult. Here we go. There's your sword. We've got some clarity. The Ace of Swords here. So this is a card of triumph, right? This is her weapon in her arsenal. To me, what I'm hearing is the truth shall set you free. So if there is, some of you are in a third party situation. If you're involved in something that is not serving you, this is definitely a sign that the truth, the things that need to be illuminated, the things that need to be clarified are going to free you. But first, it's not going to feel good, right? You're going to have to make a sacrifice. There's going to be consequences to what you're leaving behind, whatever it is, whether this is your work, whether it is a relationship, a sense of loss. There is something to be gained at the end of this, and we'll just see what you are moving toward and ask for this. Will, don't drink my water, please. The Hangman. So this is a deeply spiritual card. And I think it does go back into the lobster kind of analogy of needing to retreat into the cave in order to have the new dawn is actually in your mind. It is your perception. It is the way that you see the world is going to shift greatly. You see the illumination here? when you allow yourself to retreat and take care of yourself. And this card, this could just be like bitch with boundaries, right? It's like she's defensive, her back is up. That could be exactly what you need right now. You know, it is defensive. There is a lack of vulnerability. And maybe that is who your shell needs to be in order to allow yourself to have this deep spiritual healing, the resurrection, the illumination of the things. Okay, seriously, stop drinking my water. God, this cat. What is your deal, buddy? I don't know. Some of you get joy with seeing a kitty cat. He's made his appearance. He's here to bless you as well. Okay, there, now he's chilling out. Yeah, I think it's, you know, this is the story of Saint Peter, right? That's who this figure is. And Peter was one of the disciples of Christ who felt that he did not honor Jesus in the way that he should have. And so he refused to be crucified in the same position. He wanted to be upside down. And in being upside down, not having faith, having a crisis of faith, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, feeling this sorrow, feeling lost, right? Feeling the bitterness that comes from that, of the thought of maybe I've been forgotten, maybe I don't deserve what's good. That is a false belief. And, you know, in inverting, in seeing things from a different perspective, that is when you get the Christ consciousness. That is when you feel connected. So for those of you who have been perhaps avoiding this time of cocooning and healing and therapy, yoga, whatever is going to restore your soul, and I do think it is a bit of a solo journey for you, you are going to have freedom on the other side of that, guaranteed. And Will wants you to know that too, because his tail's wagging. So yeah, I mean, this is the longest reading I've done. I'm feeling like when this stuff comes up, I'd rather be present and here with you in this. If you need a personal reading or more detail on that, or how to move through it, I would definitely encourage you to do so. And I'm just, reflecting more on this hangman, if there's anything more that needs to be said. I think it's really just having the hope that this too shall pass, right? This may be a difficult month, but this is the outcome. This is the gift of doing the work and being present with yourself in the process. So lots of self-care, you know, let that lobster shell just shake off and you will step out rejuvenated. I'm actually excited to see what happens for you next month. And pay attention to the reading that we do for January, the general reading and the Divine Feminine Oracle that can help us through this. Check this out, bottom of the deck, the Lovers. So, I mean, I don't usually look at the bottom of the deck, but I'm a big believer of like that having major significance. So, maybe that's a little bit of hope that you guys needed to know, is that you will love again. You will feel that purpose and that divine calling again. There will be healing here. And this is coming forward. So really, really pay attention to that. Hello, Gemini, this is your card. What an idiot. Yeah, the Lovers, the twins. This is all about you and your element. So I feel like you know what this is about, or you can at least feel it coming. So that was meant to happen, because I don't usually do that. This has been just like a whole reading full of unusual things. Hey, buddy? Willertons? Yeah, now he's licking himself. So that means we're done. Okay, take care. Send me a note or drop me a line if this resonated for you. I'd love to hear from you, and until next time.